How's everybody doing? Good? Have you guys had a good time so far? Learned a lot? All right. This is one of my favorite topics. So I have talked many times on this topic. I changed it up a little bit for you ladies and gentlemen this time. But it's creating market leadership through inventory acquisition and owner relations. So the first thing I always like to ask my attendees to my sessions is, how many of you have an owner acquisition campaign? Not many. Oh, we're going to have fun today. Okay. So we're going to start basic. So for those of you that have been in this industry for a really long time and have this down, bear with me just for a little bit. So I'm going to start at the very basics. So creating market leadership starts with building a strong brand. Those that have heard me talk already today, I started my company 11 years ago. And I started with my brother, my husband, and I am still married, and my brother still likes me, I think. But we all agreed that we had to build a strong brand that was purposeful and intentional. So basically, your brand is what you prospects think of when they hear your company name. And when we started our company 11 years ago, we did not have any money. I had no money. I had a newborn baby. I had no money. But I knew that I had to put money into my marketing pieces from the very beginning. And I knew I needed to show class. I needed to show them what we thought our company stood for. It's expressive through your collateral materials as well as your interactions with others. And having the basics in place gives you the building blocks to acquire owners. My owners, well, I'll talk about my logo here in a second. But brand identity. So this is a collection of all the elements that you create to portray the right image of your company to guests, owners, and prospects. It should also make you stand out from your competition. So my logo, and you'll see in a lot of my materials I have, it's an orange color, so the color palette was purposeful. It was oval opposed to square in my community. That was purposeful. Tailor-made, which, by the way, I didn't tell you guys that Taylor is my maiden name. So when we started my company, we wanted everybody to know where the Taylor family went to, so that was purposeful. And the font for TaylorMade is Satisfaction, because it was pure satisfaction to start our own company in 2008 with a newborn baby. So anyway, so that goes along with your website, your email templates. Marketing. Express your brand identity through marketing pieces establishes a presence for your company itself. So signage, we already talked about signage. I put signs on all of our properties, the ones that are allowed. I have some communities that do not allow signs. We have a great blog. Thank you, Stacy. She's a great writer. I am not. That's where I lack. Professional photos and 3D tours. I can't tell you how many websites I go on, and looks like the pictures were taken by somebody's cell phone. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like that doesn't, honestly, I skip right over that because I'm like, is that all they're doing? They're probably not investing much in this company or in their properties. 3D tours. How many here do 3D tours? About half. 3D tours are great. They actually, you can't hide anything. And I had a joke with my brother in the beginning going, it's like, where's Waldo? Like, oh, I saw you in the bathroom mirror. You can't hide anything in 3D tours. So like for our guests, we always want to make sure they know what they're getting when they come to our properties. And we started really diving into a lot of that stuff because a lot more people are booking online. So you don't have that access to talk to them like you used to. In-home advertising, we put stuff in our house. Because we want to make sure that they know, especially if we do use OTAs, they do about 14% of my total revenue. The majority are past guests. They come from my website, my email marketing, and so forth. But if they come to one of our properties, I want them to know they're staying with a tailor-made property. So I make sure I have signage in the homes. I make sure that I have nice, well-done welcome books for them. I have all kinds of stuff in the property for them. We do different kinds of brochures, social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest. We do online marketing like Google Ads and print advertising. But if it was up to my brother, we would not do any print. He does not believe in it. But I do think that we still have a demographic that still likes print and something in their hand. Make sure you're providing value. So providing value through every interaction positions you as an expert. In my area, there is 3 of us. I bought one of them, because there used to be 4 of us. But you want to educate owners, and not just your owners. We'll talk about educating your own owners, but this is educating owners of property owners that might not be with you. And you could talk about all kinds of things that are going on in the area. Like right now, they're trying to increase our accommodation tax by another 2%. That's fun. But make sure you're educating them about things that are going on. You make amenities. We have a nice little thing that's like top 10 amenities, and it's done by our market analysis so that we could tell what our renters are clicking on to actually search for a home. So it's just not us talking off cuff, but we really know what we're talking about. Owner newsletters, partnerships with interior designer and furniture stores, which I'll talk about later. Workshops with real estate guides. I'm doing another one when I return home on Tuesday. I like to pack the calendar. But I'm doing one because I believe you need to educate your realtors. Like I have, and not my realtors, but from another company, and they sold this property and had such false things. Like they said they were going to make all this money. You know, they didn't talk about any kind of wear and tear or realistic things you guys know that happen in vacation rentals. And she was frustrated from day one. So I tried to avoid that. And I believe in educating them with what's actually going on. And then accurate real projections for real estate agents. Do not fluff them. Do not increase them because you want to get the owner. Be accurate because at the end of the day, you know, they're going to be your owner not just for now, but for years to come, hopefully, and you need to be truthful for them. Establish trust. Follow through on promises. And this is for your owners and ongoing owners. Actively look for solutions when issues arise. We constantly have a managers group, and we get together and we'll look at the issues we had for the past year. We'll put them on a spreadsheet, we'll quantify them, and then we'll see, all right, so we're having a major problem with cleaning. It's been one of our top things. What are we going to do to change that for the next year? We're having a problem with hot tub covers. Why do we have a problem with hot tub covers? Stuff like that. So make sure that you're actively looking for solutions when issues arise. Another one was trash, and whoever was with me earlier, I'm going to talk to Miss Carol about trash pickup. Joe wants a trash truck because that's a major issue, and they pick up trash in my community on Fridays and Mondays, but turn days are Saturdays and Sundays. It makes no sense. Set clear, honest expectations. Make them aware of routine housekeeping and maintenance, like I just talked about. Give me your card. I'll send it all to you. I think they're big, so I have to get like a Dropbox thing. Stacy helps me. Explain the importance of upgrades with case studies, and we're going to talk about a case study here in a little bit. Train staff to communicate honestly and consistently. Yeah, we make mistakes. Mistakes happen, but I believe you need to be honest with your owners and be upfront. Let them know as soon as you can, and they are much more forgiving than if you try to hide it. Highlight positive reviews and gather owner testimonials, which we will talk about. I will show you one. Support community organizations, charities, and events. That is big. That is huge. You're like, not only is it important to have a sense of community, but your employees live in that community too, and it means a lot to them when you know you're sponsoring the baseball team, or you know you're picking up trash pickup. And I'm not talking just about my team. We're out there picking up trash, and we're doing things. I'm not dunking. We have a Deep Creek polar bear plunge. Anybody know that? They cut away the ice. They jump in the lake. They're crazy. I sponsored them. I don't do that myself. Word of mouth. And actually, that's how we built our company. Because in the beginning, remember, I had no money. I had none. And word of mouth is what grew our company. So word of mouth is very important. So it's very important to keep those relationships with your owners. So how do you make those phones ring? So that's the basics. Let's talk about making some of these phones ring and some tools that I've used. So we have an ordinance in our area, so we call the TVRU, which everybody's like, what is that? I'm like, why do they make things so difficult? Transient Vacation Rental Unit List. So that's public. So you have a list now of all the vacation rentals, well, that are licensed, that are above board, I guess, and that's not all of them, which we found out. Tax records, homes for sale, captures points on your website. Make sure you have specific one to owners. How many here have a capture point on the website just for owners? Not half, okay. Leads for sales agents. Develop relationships with your realtors by providing them projections. And you guys, I go over that over and over again. It's very important. And give them swag. I found out, like, we do welcome bags for all of our guests, and they were coolers, and then I didn't really like the cooler company anymore because they took forever to get to me. So I switched to totes, and all my realtors came to me like, where's the coolers? Because they like to give away coolers. I'm ordering more coolers. But they like to give away swag to their customers and their clients. Develop a year-round acquisition campaign. So up to like 6 months ago, I probably would have told you guys I do postcards, and I have them, and I'll pass them. Stace, will you take these and pass them? Like I will will not fall off the stage. I used to tell you that I do 3 campaigns a year, 4 postcards each time, 1 week apart intervals. That is out the door. I think you need a campaign all year round, and you need to change it up. Don't just do postcards because they get, they get old. They throw them out, but have good, consistent messaging on them. I've done personal letters, and I've signed well, you can get the font that looks like you signed. I did not sign them all. I get stamps for that. Owner booklets. I've designed owner booklets for owners. Because you have the owners that's just shopping. So you don't want to give them all your stuff. So just give them a pretty one, a pretty booklet you can send them. I have slip sheets for owner packets, like this one right here. And this is just stuff about us and our company. And, I have a testimony on the bottom. Ads in local publications, email marketing, social media, testimonial videos, all those things I utilize. So you will see, and I have some stuff up here we'll go through that we do a lot. Oh, this is where I have to do this. Okay. So these are the Facebook ads we've done. And so this one on the right is just a Facebook ad you can look at, and it's, again, educating. And says this, I can't read it, says, see the top 5 reasons to partner with TaylorMade. Know your strengths, know your weaknesses, know your competitor's strengths, and you can play off it, right? And so that you guys can develop your own. What's mine might not work for you. But we have that. And then over here, this is Simon. He's so nice. And he actually did a case study for us and a testimonial, and I did not prompt him. I didn't give him anything. They just did it, and he was amazing. Let's see if I can. Hold on. I'm going to see if I can get this video up for you guys. Is it this one? Yeah, here. Oh, it's the other one. It's not showing up there, though. I'm like, hey, guy. I gotta pause it. Technical difficulties. This is what happens when my brother doesn't come with me. Whoa. We'll just skip it. I can maybe try to get to it later. All right. Well, you don't get to see it. Maybe afterwards I can show you guys on my computer. Not that. It's all right. I'm going to stand up here. All right. Well, I'll just keep talking before that comes up. Okay, so other things that we have done, oh, there you go. That's it. Okay, we're good. I'll just keep going. You'll see that later. All right, promotional items we've done coolers packed with swag and a printed card with owner testimonials. I've done fortune cookies. That was fun. No, it's food, so you can't save it. You can't save it for later. They go bad. I was going to do cookies. They're expensive. So I did fortune cookies, and I had a cute card that said, we would be so fortunate to have you as a partner. And then you can tailor, you like my wording? You can tailor the messages in the fortune cookies. And I sent them to owners. It was a huge hit. It was a huge hit. They loved it. I've done hats. That's my brother. He loves his baseball hats, those that know him. I did calendars. Now, interesting about calendars. This year, I was like, let's do calendars and send them all out. So we did calendars, and they're pretty, and the paper's really nice. I'm all about, the look. And you guys, I'll pass these around. Here, you can see this. But then on the real estate side and also on the community side, I'm like, well, we'll put them in our local paper. I did not know the expansive of our local paper. I was like, oh, that's like 500, right? 6,000 calendars. Wow. They read the Republican. I was amazed. But anyway, I had such a huge hit. Real estate, the clients, the community, as well as my owners, all reached out because in our area, people subscribe to that newspaper, and it's mailed all over the country. I don't even read it. But okay, Anyway, everybody else does. We did postcards with magnets on them. That actually was a huge hit. People love magnets. Items that tie into a big area event. We have an Autumn Glory Festival because we're in the mountains. So we had, all the trees, the color changes. So we got a local artist, and that made us maple leaves out of copper. And we sent those to all of our owners, or not our owners, owners out there. And it just will look a little card about the if I could talk today, the artist, and talked about coming to making a change and coming to TaylorMade. Those kind of things, you guys, you got to be creative, but those were very effective for acquisition campaigns. This is some of our stuff. I brought some backpacks, and if we have time for questions, I will give away some stuff too. Backpacks, I've done cheese boards, and I partnered with the local cheese company. I did coasters this year. They love coasters. And then my renters stole them. But yeah, I'm like, don't put them in your house. Of course the renter's going to take them. They're pretty. So we've done those. Use your resources to generate leads and be creative. So again, real estate agents. And just so you know, I didn't have real estate until 2014. So you don't have to have real estate to use real estate. Like, go talk to other companies, and you could definitely leverage that. Market to your owners who left your company. For example, we just did this. This was my dream for like the last 4 years. A VIP card, TaylorMade alumni, right? So these are owners that sold their property because life changes and no longer have a home in Deep Creek, but they do come back and rent. I did a VIP card, and I actually talked to one of them the other day. And we can mail these, and they come in this. I made a cute orange card, so I can mail it, and I can mail it to my owners individually. So we did that, so that was neat. We designed an owner ambassador program, offer incentives on services to your existing owners if they refer a friend or neighbor. So this came off an idea of my owner, who always has his hand out, but he was my first owner, and Vince. We have wine o'clock. I'm forced to do wine o'clock, but that's okay. And he says, I want to know what you're going to give me if I send one of my friends to put his house in your rental market. So we designed a ambassador program, and he gets some kind of credit. He also wanted to know, he's greedy, wants to know if he sends a friend, because, he had a 4-bedroom house, and his friends might not need a 4-bedroom house. They might need a 2-bedroom house, or they might need an 8-bedroom house. If he refers a friend that doesn't stay with his house, does he get something for it? So yes, I designed a small credit that he can use towards cleaning or linens or plowing. So it's been a great program. I had like this 2-bedroom split lakefront home, maybe grosses $15,000 a year, refer me a 7-bedroom lakefront, an 8-bedroom lakefront, and took 2 of my competing companies' properties from them. So you never know. So it's been a great program. And actually, he keeps going because he just thinks it's fantastic. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sure. Thanks, Stace. Keep owners who leave on your monthly newsletter list to maintain the connection of your company, but make sure you highlight them. So if you have a list, I have my list, and I send my list to all my owners, and then the ones that are left that I want to still stay in touch with them, it actually just happened. I kept her in there, and she left me, not because I did a bad job, but because her realtor has the other company, and she was told that she would get better deal over there. Well, she came like almost crying, and a lot of cuss words that came out of her mouth, and she goes, oh my God, will you please, please, please take me back? But she felt comfortable approaching me because I kept her on that newsletter. Because sometimes when they leave, guys, it doesn't always work out over there. And you need to make sure that you're approachable to return to. So that's the card that's going around. That's my VIP. And they don't need the VIP card. It's just something fun to have in their wallet. Create a property service division to cultivate new rental owners. I did bring flyers for this. I have it. So basically in our community, I have a lot of second homeowners. So when we started this company, when you rent a property, well, you're not going to get paid for 6 months. So we need cash right away. So we started this where you do cleaning, and you do linens, and you do hot tub service, and you do dock work, and you do lawn, and you do plow, you do inspections for non-rental homes, not rental homes, non-rental homes. And they can get on a 6-month program, a year program. But the life cycle of an owner, sometimes they're ready, they don't come up anymore. And now they go in the rental market, or they want to sell. So you basically just keep them in the family. It's a really good feeder market for our rentals and our sales. And I have them all go back and forth. Become the expert in your area. I kind of touched on that earlier. I'm like, am I doing good on time? Oh, yeah. Know your local market. Know your strengths and weaknesses as well as your competitors. It's very heavy on that one. Create online education hub. So have informational videos. Do blog posts and topics that include recommended amenities, like I talked about. Updates on a budget. How to choose a property management company. That's one. That's a good one. So interesting about the updates. I had an owner, a quick story about them. This house I was about to fire because I got complaints from the guests every time I had a renter in. And I was about to fire him. It's sold. I'm like, yay. Anyway, I mean, you wouldn't even take your shoes off in this because the carpet was so gross. Like, I was done. Well, the owner rep, we'll talk about that too, came to me and said, Jodi, they're going to want to be one of our elite homes. I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, no, that house was going off the market. I went there, and I was amazed at what this woman did, and she didn't go crazy. She did update her kitchen, but she painted, basics. Furniture. She replaced the carpet. Thank you. But those kind of things did wonderful. She wrote me a blog post. How to update, was it? How to update on a dime. Tips for design on a budget. That's what she did. And then I also had ones, she did a blog post herself, and then I went out to my owners, and I had tips. So we had like 10 tips from 10 different owners. They have come up with all kinds of crazy ideas, but that's been very informative. Be sure you're tracking your interactions with prospects. When I started, I had a spreadsheet. And then I feel like I had a spreadsheet about a spreadsheet, and I had a spreadsheet about another spreadsheet. So I got CRM, and I've been on a bunch of different ones. Chad keeps throwing stuff at me. I'm currently on Contactually, which I enjoy using. It keeps me on target because, we all get busy, and we're working with an owner, and we work for days with them and send them numbers, and we keep talking to them. And then another owner calls, and then you're running a business and you forget. So I needed someone to make sure that I was staying on track. So like this one, we can do drip campaigns. I did not break it out in this one, but if you guys are interested, I could tell you. Drip campaigns, so it went down to different personas, so different types of owners. So like owners that have never rented, owners that are coming from another rental market, owners that are buying a home that's not a rental. They got specific types of emails that educated them. So there's all kinds of stuff out there, but just to keep you on track and so you don't come complacent with your owners that you've talked to. So owner retention. How do you keep them happy? This is the Valdez family. Aren't they cute? Really cool house. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. I'm not going to be able to do that. So, okay, well, let's talk. First of all, owner retention. We have owner representatives. I'm not going to dive deep into it. I have 400 homes. I have 12 owner representatives. Take care of about 35 to 40 homes each. That's their personal contact, their eyes and ears. I always tell owners that I might not know about that light bulb was out. I can look it up, but this is the person that will. They have communication with all of them. I do an owner newsletter, and it's a consistent way to stay in touch with owners and informs them of marketing efforts, local news, maintenance, and housekeeping. And I'm afraid to try that. If we have time, I will show you. So that's one of my owner newsletters, and we do it in Sway. And this time we did a video of my brother and my brother and I doing a fireside chat. Chad did not want to do it, like at all. Like, really, he didn't want to do it. And I really want to show you guys so you can see. He did a great job. But we want to talk about things, because some things, like dynamic pricing. We started dynamic pricing, and it's so confusing for my owners. We talked marketing and stuff. So we did a fireside chat, and I can't tell you how many emails I got back from owners. Because, they don't read it. They say they don't read it. They watch that video. Because I got responses because they're like, oh, thank you. Or, yes, I do have a question, which I'd rather have them have a question about it than not ask me anything. So you do owner newsletters, and we do that once a month. Make sure you have an owner portal. So it gives owners an online connection to their home. They can make reservations. They can view service orders, see availability, calendar, and reviews. A coffee hour. So this year we're going to host our third coffee hour ever. We invite our owners in, and I was skeptical. Oak Island, you guys have done a owner party or owner weekend, and my brother and my husband's like, there is no way I'm inviting all the owners at one place. Right? Well, what we did is in the summertime, we invited the owners that were in town to our office. We say it's coffee hour, but we talk a lot. You can tell I talk a lot. So it ended up being an hour and a half. But it's an hour, and we talk about topics like they have asked questions about, like some of our policies, some of our procedures, some things that have changed, some things they might not have understood, some things that we've always done for years and years and years, and we just never told them because it's back of the office. We hold them weekly in the summertime. And I've had 10 to 15 people. I mean, it's nothing crazy. It's a great opportunity for them to meet my team, talk to the owners, because I'm the one that brings the owners on, so I'm usually the one that always meets them, but they might not meet Joe or Chad or any of the team. Provide department and company updates. We are also going to do one, I think, in the spring, in April, and one in the fall, because some of my owners don't come in the peak season, right? They want to rent, which we like them. We want them to rent. But we do them in the fall. We're going to do one coming up in the spring and one in the fall. So an owner journey. This is something I started a couple years ago, and because we always talk about the guest journey, right? But there's also an owner journey. And so this is outline the life cycle of an owner for internal use. So this is what happens internally. Step-by-step process from the signing of paperwork to their possible departure. And I was going to pass that around so you guys could see that. Here's Stace. And I got more of those if you guys want some. It makes smooth onboarding, creates a great impression, and can set the tone of your partnership. Because, I feel like, and some of this is my fault. Like, in the beginning, when I would hand it off to my assistant, then, I was done, right? No, you're not done, because I was busy doing all the other stuff. So this is a great process that I have outlined to go through signing paperwork and, transitioning them onto the rental market. And if they leave for a competitor, be sure to follow up with them afterwards, which is something we already talked about. We also sell hot tubs. I didn't think it would do so well. It did great. It's a top amenity for our guests. I thought I would sell 5 a year just to have the parts. That's what I wanted it for. We sell a lot. Selling hot tubs is a big value for our owners. It could be a bargaining chip because, of course, they upgrade, pull up the rate when you buy a hot tub. We can always bring it down and you get it through our company. It's a cheaper rate, but that's a bonus for coming onto our rental market. We offer high quality products at great rates with financing options, and we have parts. Owners don't ever think about when they buy something, the long term, things break down. When a guest doesn't have an amenity they asked for because you have to overnight a part, they get really upset. Look for solutions, and this is something I had to retrain some of my team for too, is that when something breaks down and something happens, it's very important that you just don't tell the owner that something happened. They want to know what the solution is because that's why they hired you. So make sure, and I thought my team knew that, but I think it just got skipped out sometimes because sometimes we're rash about things. That owner doesn't want us to change things. They need to know a solution to the problem. Identify ways to reduce owner costs. I have a basic maintenance program. I knew when I worked for my mom that the owners got upset with nickel and diming, so I built in a cost to what my renters pay, and that's a whole nother topic. But I identified things that, go plunge a toilet, have to go work the pilot on the fireplace. They put warm food in your refrigerator, and they tell you it's broken. You guys can name them off. But, you would have to pay for your guys to go out there. So I built it in. I know I'm going to get the phone call, and I built it into what the renters pay. Always be on the lookout for ways to streamline efficiencies. This is what I said a little bit ago. Chad is not allowed to do any more software conferences. We have new software, new technology, network and learn from your peers. I have learned everything from working with my peers. It's amazing. That's why I'm up here talking to you guys because I've learned so much. And actually, I learn a lot when I'm up here. How much you guys all are just listening. Yeah. Okay, just kidding. All right, so what we did this year, and I launched it fully in September, and this was huge for us, dynamic rates. Make sure you're taking advantage of every opportunity to maximize revenue. I think that I live and breathe dynamic rates these days. You have a big data at your fingertips, automating what was once a year. So my dad taught me how to do rates over a decade ago. And basically, I did them every April and May, and that was set for the rest of the year. And the rates were the same for all fall, which could have been 6 to 8 weeks, and then all winter, which could be 6 to 8 weeks. But the truth is, you have weekends that have high occupancy over other weekends, so they shouldn't be the same. Truth is if 100 homes go off your rental market because there's a family reunion, shouldn't your rates go up? And isn't it better that you don't have to do it manually? That's what this comes into place. Dynamic rates are based on supply and demand and not just holidays. So my competitor, God bless them, they say they have dynamic pricing because they increase it for the holidays. That is not true dynamic pricing. Have a strong revenue manager, that's my hat, who knows your area and how specific types of homes are expected to perform. You need someone that knows your area. It is very hard. You need to know the different patterns in weather. You need to know what type of homes book when so that you're not reducing a lakefront home when it's not even supposed to be booking yet. You'll be surprised at the potential for high rates during peak time periods. I was shocked. Oversight is important for identifying trends, and expect to retrain thinking of your owners and staff. Like, I had a retaliation for my owners. They're like, what are you doing? What? I don't get my rates like I used to get. You don't have it lined out like you used to do, because no, you can't. Your rates change every day. And my team, it was hard to grasp, especially because it does go up on holidays, and it was just a very hard thing. So it's a lot of hand holding and working. Yeah. Yeah. I had one lady that told me she didn't want to participate, and then I showed her how much more she got from Martin Luther King. I said, but I can take that off. And she's like, no, no, that is actually good. What was hard, there was no choice. They all had to be on it. What was hard is that at first, and it could have been wording, they thought that it's all about last minute. They didn't see the long-term goal. They saw, well, you're going to drop it if it doesn't book. I'm like, but they all have a base. I'm only going to drop it so low because I don't want just anybody in your home. And so it was a hand-holding thing. I'm still working around how to show them more data, but honestly, I'm going to show them the back of the house. I'm going to show them my calendar. They can't change it because, God, that'd be a nightmare. But I'm going to show them the back of the house. That's what I'm going to do. There's some that want to know more about it, and there's some that really, they're like, just make me money. Well, in the beginning, I said, just trust me. I did. I'm serious. But I did. Right now, I worked with Tableau, which is, and I've worked with my brother and me, and we did some spreadsheets for them and showed it. But honestly, like, I'm still working that out. I mean, it's still pretty fresh for them, but I will be doing the variations. But the back of the house, the ones that really want to know, solved all their questions because it just showed the true owner gross. And that was another thing. Instead of looking at advertised rate, you're looking at owner gross, which is different thinking. So this is Martin Luther King weekend. This is the first weekend I was able to actually do a year-over-year comparison from when I did not do dynamic pricing for a holiday weekend. It went up 55%. Like, I was blown out of the water. Like, that's crazy. It's insane. But yeah, those are numbers. Martin Luther King just a couple weeks ago. So it's done well. And what we did when we launched it, we launched a few in June. They were my newer homes, or the homes that didn't have bookings yet, and their last-minute reservations did fantastic through the summer. So they did good. Is anybody? Oh, that's it. Did any of you guys let go of owners? Raise your hand. I'm so proud of you. Yeah, I'm about to let one go when I get home. I am. I'm so excited. I can't tell you how excited. Actually, the best story of me letting go an owner is that when a couple years ago, before we brought the Deep Creek branch along in Foster, I had an owner, and he didn't tell me. He lived above the garage in between the rentals. Didn't tell me. And so, like, we would clean the house, and he would go and use the kitchen and then call and tell us our cleaning wasn't good. Then, when I told him I knew that he was in the home, he would follow my inspectors. Like, I couldn't put any women in the house anymore. Like, he was horrible, and I fired him. Well, guess what? He went to Long and Foster. Well, then I bought the Deep Creek branch of Long and Foster, and I got to fire him twice. I mean, honestly, it was worth the purchase. Hands down. Because he did not want to talk to me. So anyway, so there's time to say goodbye. When an owner's monopolizing resources, time, money, it might be time to say goodbye. I'm doing good. I had an owner that I tried to fire 4 times politely. And this is the one that wasn't realistic. And the 5th time, she goes, I think I'm going to leave. I go, yeah, I think that's a great idea. That's great. I think you should. I have another one that that I already let go, and I'm letting him have his last reservation. Literally, the man comes in with a magnifying glass and looks like he looked underneath the cabinet, like that baseboard underneath the cabinet in the kitchen, and was like, "There's a dent." I'm like, really? How did you know there wasn't a dent before? Like, what? How do you look at these things? He was ridiculous. He's gone. I sent him to my competitor with a phone number. Don't be afraid to let them go. They're going to monopolize your time, and you're going to realize, like, who it is, because when you let them go and you tell your staff's like, oh, wow. Like, they're relieved. Yes, Jennifer. Yeah. You're a superhero. You're Wonder Woman. Mm. The one I'm firing when I get back. because I knew I couldn't move them because I was sold out, was one that my owner rep called me on the side of the road crying and saying that it was a husband and wife, and the husband got in her face and was cussing her out because, well, we did make a mistake. The renter had put a hot plate on a table and it exploded. So we sanded it down, but we didn't get it stained in time for the next guest, for the owner to arrive. So they just put a tablecloth and didn't tell him. That was our mistake. But he got in her face, like spitting, cussing her out. And I called the owner immediately. I came over and I brought my husband, 6'7" guy. And the guy wouldn't talk to me. And the wife goes, "It's a good thing you brought your husband because he doesn't respect women. And we're going through a divorce." I'm like, "Well, shame on you for inviting my owner rep to your house in this type of situation." And I could overhear the husband going, "So what are we going to do about Jessica?" I'm like, "Oh, obviously you didn't understand. Jessica's not coming back, nor would any other female come to this. More than, I don't even know if I want to work with you." And like, my husband was like backing up because I had my finger and I was like across the room. Don't be afraid of fire owners. That's it. That's all I got. And I will show videos if we have time afterwards so that you can see some of those. But thank you very much. I have lots of examples up here. There is one thing I did want to tell you. I worked with a furniture company, and I brought it. She put together a PDF of go-to furniture, discounted affordable furniture for me. Work with your companies in your area to do stuff like that. I think there's a company here that does something like that. But it's been amazing and a game changer for my owners because it's quality furniture. But anyway, so that's it. Any questions?
What is your marketing spend per unit? I mean, you do a lot of great, but what do you kind of have as your budget for marketing spend per unit?
I don't have a budget. I'm in charge of my budget. But as my dad would tell me, if you're down, you haven't marketed enough. And so we you know, I take it back. Chad is pretty budget tight on me, but I get away with a lot more than I should. But I'm all about spending money if I'm going to be making money, and then quantifying your like what you're doing. So I could go back and tell you what owner acquisition piece did not work at all. Like I did one for something for real estate for all my incoming guests to make an appointment with a realtor, and I printed out like 10,000 of those things. That didn't work. That was not a good idea.
Do you charge your owners for marketing spend, or you just it's in your commission?
It's in my management fee. Yep. Anybody else? Yeah.
If you had 2 or 3 startup tips for creating a program for the non-rental property, like how do you base it to be profitable? Is it by service? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so the beauty of the property service, the non-rentals, is that what you're asking? The beauty of that is that your team is already in the field, right? So like we're servicing hot tubs next door. So it's not costing me so much more to service a hot tub that's next door to it. We do have pricing points that we have figured out over the years that has worked, but it's with what I found with non-rentals, like especially like cleaning, like you don't have to clean everything because like they don't empty out their refrigerator, or they don't do stuff like that, so it's a little bit different. Our biggest sales with the property services is cleaning, it's inspection. So a lot of my owners live 3-4 hours away, and so we inspect the homes like this time of year. That was a big key for them, so they have someone local to talk to, and hot tub service. Those are the 3 big services we have for non-rentals. And you can have a brochure. I have some up here.
Does your management fee include housekeeping, or is it charged as separate?
It's separate.
Separate flat fee, or separate exactly what it was to clean it?
No, I do a nightly fee built into what the renters pay.
So the renters are paying the fee?
Yeah, it's bundled in. So if like they book over the weekend and it's $1,000, I take off my cleaning and my linen. We can talk about fees. I gotta have a whole nother conversation about that. And then they get their owner gross, and that's what my management fee is taken off of. So it's a nightly rate. Because when you look at in my area, we're 7 nights just in the summertime, or weekends the rest of the year. So our average stay, when you look at all of it, it's like 3.69. So we have to make sure that it makes sense when we do nightly, that we make enough money. I'll give you my card.
Do you find that other property management companies normally relate to trying to underwrite?
Yeah, I do. Don't you guys? Or wait, hold on, wait. Or they do a guarantee. They tell me they can make more money, but I also know by other software that I rent just as well at a higher average daily rate. So you just gotta have.
You use a third-party software for searching?
For that, yes, I do.
Wait,
I use what's called transparency, and it searches my entire market and tell you which homes book and how much they book for. It's very nice.
Well, that's part of the VRMA.
Insights, but they don't tell you the insights doesn't tell you the rates.
What's that? I'm
They
sorry.
don't tell you the rates. They don't tell you how to make a rate. Like, this transparency tells me my rates. They can tell you what I'm getting versus what my competitor's getting.
And transparency is just a compass.
Yeah.
They're striking both sides and taking over the back.
Thank you. I was trying to be nice about it.
It's right here. That's all I'm putting the postage rates there.
Yeah.
You don't know what it actually rents for, but it's a great tool to look at and see that way.
Anything else?
Jodi, I apologize, I was a few minutes late. I just want to make sure, if you did not mention it, you're the president of VRMA. And as a member of VRMA, I highly encourage everyone in here who's not a member to join. But now you can see the leadership that we have this year as
I only get it because my parents were amazing people. I'm probably blushing. You made me blush. My parents were amazing people. My father was the vice president of this board when he sold his company, so he never made it to presidency. So he did. If you didn't see him come, he came to Vegas. I didn't cry. I almost did. I almost cried when I talked about him. But anyway, yeah. So if you guys aren't a member, please. I mean, like I said, a lot of this stuff I've learned from my peers. And I give back because so many people gave me. Like, I started this company. My parents had a non-compete and non-advice. They could not consult. I had nothing. I knew how to run a company. I didn't know how to start a company. I didn't have contracts. I didn't have policies. I didn't have procedures. I didn't know how to deal with employees. And I can tell you, oh my gosh, at least 15 members from VRMA sent me stuff in Word document so I can edit it for me. So it's a very sharing organization. But all of you ladies, you're here because we are very giving people. So, yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah, you just give me the cards, and I will just make sure you put presentation on it so that when I get back, and I get back in the world of business. But yeah, that's it. And then if you can help me put the video up.